Okay, we're all set.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the work in public session of the Mayor and Council. I would ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent reflection and or prayer. As we think about the Heineman family in the Milford, John Heineman is our recreation director, and on Saturday night, his mother had passed. Please salute the flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of
Flag
the United
of
States
the United States of America,
and to the
and
republic,
to the
republic
republic for
which
which
for
it
which it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
one nation, under
under
God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you. New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of New Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall, and notices have been sent to the Record and the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services, the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard the infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning, seek to minimize risk while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers, while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes on taxation. Being that this meeting is being held remote, I need to read the following. All participants are muted during the meeting. Anyone wishing to make comments or ask questions can do so at such time as the meeting is open to the public for comment and during public hearings on any ordinances by hitting the button to raise your hand or by typing a message in the chat box. You'll need to state your name and address for the record. Members of the public may also submit written comments for any future remote meetings by either email to cdemirs@newmilfordborough.com or a written letter to the Borough Clerk. Written comments must be received by 4 p.m. on the day of the remote meeting in order to be read into the record during the meeting. Members of the public commenting during a remote meeting shall not act in any manner to disrupt the meeting. If anyone becomes disruptive during the meeting, they will be muted. If time permits, the disruptive individual shall be allowed to speak after all other members of the public are provided an opportunity to comment. Any continued disruption may result in a member being prevented from speaking during the remainder of the meeting. Disruptive conduct includes, but is not limited to, shouting, interruption, and the use of profanity. When the clerk has an opportunity, I would ask her to please call the roll.
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley.
Present.
Councilman Seymour.
present,
Councilwoman Duffy.
Here.
Councilman Grotzky.
Here,
Councilwoman Sandhuse.
Present.
Council President Grant.
Here.
Mayor Petrino.
Here. Okay, the first item on our agenda tonight is appointments. We have 2 people for Fire Department, Company Number 2. And at this time, I would ask for a motion for Jude Easy, Fire Company Number 2, and Mohammed Yidigadan, Fire Company Number 2.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Well, thank you very much for wanting to serve our community. We look forward to it. And as always, we wish all of our emergency responders to be safe. Under unfinished business, may I get a motion for the approval of the minutes of the September 13th, 2021 work session meeting?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. New business. We have an introduction of an ordinance, 2021:18. And when the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of New Milford entitled Administration, thereby amending subsection 2-19.1 entitled Composition of the New Milford Police Department.
So we're actually correcting the point distribution for education on a recently adopted ordinance. So if this sounds familiar, we're just fixing it. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first
Motion.
reading?
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Starkey Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
Okay. The public hearing on this ordinance will be at our October 13th meeting. Okay. Item number 1 is electric vehicle supply service equipment model ordinance. Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I had distributed model of the ordinance that was adopted by the state of New Jersey, and we are required to adopt it ourselves. It's in effect in all municipalities in the state, and it's based upon PL 2021, Chapter 171, which was signed into law by the governor on July 9th and requires EVSE and make-ready parking spaces be designated as a permitted accessory use in all zoning or use districts, and it establishes the associated installation and parking requirements. So we took the model ordinance from the state. I reviewed it with Mr. Kelly and our zoning officer, and for the most part, we are required to adopt it as is, but there were a couple of items that were part of the ordinance that we wanted to bring to the council's attention and ask for a recommendation about having it reviewed by another committee. So it's on page 8 of the ordinance that I had distributed, and it says it's about usage fees. And it says for publicly accessible municipal EVSE, in addition to any parking fees, the fee to use parking spaces within the municipality identified as EVSE spaces shall be blank for each hour that electric vehicle is connected to the EVSE, or it could be but per kilowatt. So having no experience with that ourselves, we thought this would be something that the green team might be able to weigh in on. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Kelly to see if there's anything that he would like to add.
No, I agree with Chris. We went through it, and I think just to throw darts against a wall, so to speak, coming up with a fee when we're really not familiar with the issues might not be the best way to approach this. The green team, I know, has been working with this with an eye towards grants and other issues, and the consensus in our meeting was maybe we should refer it out there. It's a little different than environmental. If the green team thinks it's appropriate, if not, we can refer it to environmental or form another committee. But I think, green team sounds like it's probably up to the task.
As a liaison, may I weigh in on this, or is this appropriate time?
No, I was just going to ask you what you thought. Which
Okay,
committee?
the Environmental and Energy Commission has actually been researching and working on electric vehicle charging stations for a number of years. So they have a little bit more expertise in that. I could certainly bring it to both committees and have people weigh in. It's typically the rate of charging fees are usually like $1 an hour, and it depends on how much recovery costs and things like that. So the charging stations get a little complicated, but we're kind of seeing that charging times are like between 20 and 40 minutes on the high-speed chargers, and that's usually like $1. So $1 for an hour. So the fees would be nominal. Don't hold me to that estimate, but that's kind of like a traditional thing, and I'm going from memory. So, but that's typically what it's been. So
you would recommend this go to the Environmental and Energy Commission for review, for comments? and come back to
Yes,
us.
because they've been working on the estimates and the grants and doing the research. So they would have more background
Seems to make sense.
history.
That's the appropriate committee, then that's
Yeah.
where it should go. I know Vince has no familiarity with it, nor do I. I don't think Chris did. So we just threw up a flare.
Mhm.
Okay,
Do we need a motion to refer it?
let's do one just in case.
So
Can I get a
moved.
motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
The one thing we wanted to talk about was the fact that we were looking for some prompt feedback, I guess is the nice way of saying it, because in order to, it's on the books for the state, so we need to follow suit in, a timely manner, and we wanted to be able to get something adopted by the end of the year.
Okay, the timeline is December 31st. Is that the
Well, we
timeline?
have to be able to introduce it and adopt it before the end of the year, so we would
Yeah.
need something back from them, next month,
Okay.
because we only have
Meet
one.
the first Tuesday, so I think that'll
Okay.
be fine.
Okay. And I guess it would include, the research would include, information from other places that already have these charging stations in place.
There are many places that there's a consensus, there's a kind of like a typical range of fees for charging stations. And I don't want to get into the weeds on that too much right here, but go ahead and share with me the questions that are most pertinent to be asked and decided on. If you're looking for an actual rate to put in, like a rate range possibly might be worthwhile to do, if that's agreeable. So
I have a question.
sure.
I'd want to know what our cost is for the electric, and then I wouldn't necessarily want to make money on the deal, but I wouldn't want to lose money on the deal. So, I mean, I have no idea. I mean, and how many stations? I mean, obviously, this is the way of the future. If we keep giving out free electricity, we're going to wind up having, like, we're supplying, total lights to everybody. We could be talking thousands of dollars. So
I don't think it'll ever get that bad.
I do
don't
think the goal is for the fees to offset the cost.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know. So
Yeah.
And there are ways to offset costs additionally by selling advertising, because there's like digital monitors, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a variety of options, and they get updated every couple of years. So
yeah, it's a new technology and a new thing, and we're going to conform with state law, and we're going to figure out how to do it, and we're going to have a program in place.
The other thing, Iris, part of the ordinance does say that the fees can be changed by resolution. So if we find that we're at a point where we are losing money, we can adjust the fees accordingly.
yeah, because I'm sure electricity is going to fluctuate also.
Right.
Eddie, you're muted.
Thank you. This may be new technology, but they had electric cars in the early 1900s and charging stations for them. I read that recently. Did not know it. So it's coming back. What's old is new. What's new is old.
That's right.
One way or the other.
I think the ordinance we circulated, it's section 6 that, there's the blank that they can fill in and make recommendations on. And there's also, we have to put in the parking requirement section. That would really be within our, Vince will handle that. But it's really that last section where it comes in. And perhaps a range is something we could do, and then, have that in and use a resolution if we find out we're losing money.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on that? If not, we're going to move on to number 2, which is the schedule updates. I have a couple of things to mention. On October 16th, it will be Clean Communities Day in New Milford. Traditionally, it is the first Saturday of October, but we have postponed it 2 weeks. So it will be on the 16th. It'll be at the DPW. I believe the start time is 9 o'clock, but as we get closer, there will be information put out on our website and on the Facebook page. On November 11th at 11 o'clock will be our annual Veterans Day ceremony on the Borough Hall lawn. That is hosted by the Milford Public Events Committee. They do a fantastic job every year, and we're looking forward to this one. On December 5th, right now is our tentative date for the holiday tree lighting / winter wonderland. So if people remember a couple of years ago, we have our traditional holiday tree lighting. And then last year we had the winter wonderland drive-by. Going forward, we decided that we are going to kind of do a hybrid and kind of mix both of them together to get, the full effect. So there'll be a tree lighting. We will have Santa Claus there. Children will be able to get pictures with Santa Claus, and there will be the winter wonderland for anyone who wants to drive by and see all of the lights. Last year was a huge success, and we're hoping it is again. And Councilman Seymour, you want to update us on the domestic violence symposium?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So we've had several planning Zoom conference calls with the judiciary and as well as the prosecutor's office and the sheriff's department. It's coming along very nicely. There will be some changes to this year's program. First, some of the basic details. We are confirmed with special thanks to our Board of Education, our school district, for Wednesday, October 27th at around 6 p.m. The time may be tweaked slightly, but it'll be around 6 p.m. At the New Milford High School. Just as last year, the panel and speakers will be live. The listening and viewing public, however, will access the program through a live stream on the YouTube and Facebook channels. Some changes to this year's program. We're making it more survivor and victim centric and focused. So instead of just having one survivor speak, there will be two this year. Both will be new survivors to the panel to bring a fresh perspective and point of view on their experience. An excellent point that was brought out by our police, it was that in planning this event was that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Lieutenant Herrero made an excellent point in our conference call when he brought out the fact that no two stories are the same. Each story is unique. So he had recommended, and the panel agrees fully, that it would be outstanding to have more than one story be told. So from this point going forward, we're going to have two. The prosecutor's office, once again, is gracious enough. They're partnering with us. They're quarterbacking this event for us. And the sheriff's department will be participating as well. Division of Child Protection and Permanency is returning this year to the panel. This year, we're adding the chairwoman, Allison Bressler, from the Partnership for Change, which is a statewide domestic violence or awareness nonprofit organization. They're joining our panel this year. And in terms of theme, we're going to be shifting thematically from domestic violence to intimate partner violence. And it may sound like a distinction without a difference, but it's an important shift in theme. When people think about domestic violence, they make certain assumptions. For example, there's two people living in the same household, they're living in the same apartment, cohabiting. And that can overlook those people who are in dating relationships, younger survivors in certain instances, sometimes high school, sometimes early 20s, who are in dating relationships. And oftentimes, sadly and tragically, other people around them in their sphere of influence don't recognize that they're in such a dangerous situation. So we're going to be addressing this more this year. Lil Corcoran, who is one of our returning speakers from the Women's Information Rights Center, is going to be spearheading that change. And once again, we're truly, as an entire group, very grateful and appreciative to all of you for your support, and this council's support, and Mayor, your support for hosting this event again in New Milford. So thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We know it's important. and we're looking forward to having it every year, as long as we can do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was there any other upcoming events? Councilwoman Duffy?
Yes, this year, there will be a fire awareness day on, let's see, I have the date, October 17th at the Borough Hall at 1 p.m. As everyone knows, I'm sure everybody has been to one of those. They're very popular with the younger people in town and parents, and it's a really great way to meet some of our firefighters in person. And so they're planning on having that again this year. We haven't had it for a while because of obvious reasons. So they're planning on being out that weekend on the 17th.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's popular, especially when they give out the homework pass to the kids, and they don't have to do homework that night if they
Right.
attend.
Yeah.
Councilman Grosky?
Thank you, Mayor. The Shade Tree Commission will be designating 2 trees on Cedar Road on Saturday, October 23rd at 12 noon. So I'd be appreciative if everybody could show up then, and we will dedicate these trees.
What was the date, Council?
10/23, Saturday at noontime.
Those trees are amazing.
Mhm.
As you know, we just lost the only one we had
Yeah.
because it was rotting out from the inside. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah. The twins will be next.
Yeah.
Any other upcoming events? Okay. October's looking busy.
Yeah. Good.
Administrators report.
Thank you, Mayor. There 7 homes were demolished on Columbia Street last week as part of the Blue Acres buyout of flood impacted homes. They included 535, 556, 623, 627, 631, 638, and 664 Columbia Street. This is a continuation of a program that has been underway for many years. Public Service held a meeting with Borough Key Contact personnel regarding the upcoming gas system modernization program, which involves the upgrade of aging gas infrastructure. And they will be supplying a street list and coordinating with the DPW to identify any roads that have been paved within the last 5 years and to determine if it will be possible to proceed in coordination with the borough's road program to restore roads to the borough's satisfaction. If we can work everything out with Public Service, the work is slated to begin early next year, and it would continue for most of the year. Work is scheduled to begin on tomorrow on the resurfacing of the boulevard from McKinley to Maine. The schedule is posted on our website and on the Office of the Mayor Facebook page. Let's see, I have an engineering report with updates on the number of projects that are underway in town. Knights Field, which is the new athletic field and recreational space. We were looking at a completion date in October. We're in the process of obtaining an updated schedule. We're issuing a change order for the addition of a pavilion, and we're in the process of getting an estimate for the construction and electrical and drainage work that will be required for the pavilion. The Madison Avenue Sidewalk Project, which is a DOT project and is for new curbs and sidewalk along portions of east and west side of Madison Avenue with a mid-block crossing. This is a county road, so we've been working with the DEP, the DOT, and the county to get concurrence for the project. And we're anticipating that we will be going out to bid in October and awarding the bid in November, with the expectation that we will complete construction next summer. The NJDOT Culvert Project, which is the repair of various drain pipe connections to existing culverts and abutments on Floral Court and the Boulevard, and the lining of an existing culvert pipe on Steuben Avenue. Another project which we are working with the DEP and the DOT to get concurrence, and we are anticipating that we will be out to bid in December of this year, with the work completing next spring. Boulevard I just spoke about. The start date is tomorrow, and with the anticipation of completion by the middle of October. Kennedy Field bench covers. The scope of work is to install roof structures over the existing team benches at 3 of the fields for 6 total. One of the things that we're working on is confirming that we can do the work under the Field Turf Cooperative in order to maintain the warranty on the turf. So this has been a little difficult to coordinate, but we are working through it and hope to be able to proceed with that work. A couple of other items not underway, but things that we are in the process of. The Boulevard and Graphic Boulevard intersection, we're conducting a traffic study that's underway this week. And the purpose of that traffic study is to look at whether or not there's the potential for signalization of that intersection. The NJ DOT 2022 Municipal Aid Grant, we submitted an application for Graphic Boulevard road improvements, and we're waiting on the outcome of that application. Prospect Park, we've had this project underway with community development in Bergen County for a number of years. We are working towards making accessible entries into the park on both sides. Originally, it was only supposed to be on one side of the park. We decided to see if we could get approval from the county to do it from both sides of the park. I did speak with somebody today. They did approve that, and we're working through some of the budgeting issues before we can proceed. The Sutton Tennis Courts, we are looking at the addition of adjustable netting, and we're waiting on a quote for that netting. And the Barbara Field post-storm, the borough has hired a landscaper to repair the lawn and the clay infields, and we're soliciting quotes from contractors to remove and replace the fencing. Next item on my report is just to note that the Borough Hall is closed on Monday, October 11th in observance of Columbus Day. And for that reason, our next meeting is taking place on Wednesday, October 13th, and that will be virtual as well. That's it for me, Mayor.
Thank you.
I
Do you
have
have any
a,
questions for the administrator?
I have a question. Christine, what's happening with the cleanup under the Boulevard Bridge? All the debris is still there up to the top.
We are working with somebody to get that taken care of. I believe we did hire a contractor, and it's a matter of getting on the schedule at this point.
Thank you.
Yes, we did. I can confirm that. Everyone is getting cleanings going on. Anyone who has brooks, streams, bridges, and we are on the list, and we're coming up real soon.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Everyone have a chance to look at the resolutions? Are there any that need to be pulled for further discussion? Okay, if not, could I get a motion to file council committee reports with the borough clerk?
So moved.
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let's go around the table real quick. Give me one or two highlights, and then we will open up to the public. Let's start with Councilman Grotzky. First on my
Thank you,
squares.
Mayor. As I mentioned, the shade tree met. They're working on several things. They're again looking at revising the ordinance. Hopefully that will be done by the end of the year. And also we will be having the dedication of the 2 shade trees on October 23rd.
Excellent. Councilwoman Siraki Hurley.
Thank you, Mayor. As the mayor had already explained the events that we have coming up with the Christmas and the veterans. Also, I want to remind everybody that our senior center is open. Need to register and give a call, and they're still being active with their exercises and their their exercises, whatever else it's called. Okay, that's about it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Sandhusen.
I have nothing to report at this time. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Councilman Seymour.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Strachey Hurley and I think we're both very extremely honored to take part in this year's cereal box challenge in our schools. Commissioner Zur came in, and I can't say enough about the amazing job that she did in organizing this with the Food Security Task Force. Berkeley School, Gibbs School, David E. Owens did an amazing job collecting a lot of cereal boxes, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, in fact, and laying them out as such an amazing, creative pattern. It was a lot of fun. It was exciting to see the enthusiasm with our kids. They were so excited. And to paraphrase something that Commissioner Zur said, which I thought really hit the nail on the head when she said, this not only teaches our children problem-solving skills, it teaches them that our heroes don't have to wear capes. We can all be heroes, and we can all help those in need. So I just want to give a special thanks to our entire community in the Milford and every family who took part, and all of our kids who did an amazing job. And that's my update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Grant. Council President Grant.
Thank you, Mayor. I've been talking about the sculpture garden for quite a while now, and last Saturday we had the grand opening reception for it, and it was extremely well attended. There were over 100 people who came. We had a tent and refreshments, and two Bergen County commissioners came, Tracy Zur and Mary Amoroso. County Clerk John Hogan came, a representative from Josh Gottheimer's office and from County Executive Tedesco's office came. And it was exhilarating. All the friends of the library assisted in all the preparations, and the Library Board of Trustees were there. Mayor and council was there in full force, which was a delight. And I really need to call out the DPW in particular for their work on the project. They were extraordinary, particularly Sil and Antoine. They were there whenever they were needed. They did whatever had to be done. They always were cheerful. We put the stakes down for the podiums. I can't tell you how many times, and somehow they always got mowed over or blown away. And they came back without a murmur of discontent, and they painted the podiums. I mean, they were extraordinary. So a real shout out to them for their work. And thank you all for coming, and thank you to all the residents and the artists in the Arts Center of Northern New Jersey. It was really an uplifting event, and I look forward to at some point having more sculptures on the library grounds, because there is more room for them. Not this year, but in the future we will organize that as well. The Library Board of Trustees is eager to do that, as is the Art Center. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a great event. It was a good time.
And it adds a whole wonderful new dimension to New Milford. I mean, we've been known for our sports, and rightfully so, for a long time. And now we're making our name in the arts world as well. So it's really nice to have, cover the entire, I don't know what, the entire field, the entire spectrum. It's great.
A Renaissance community.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't come up with that. Yes, we're a Renaissance community. I like
Councilwoman Duffy.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Well, congratulations, Councilwoman, and the Board of Trustees. Really great job over there. And just to add to that idea that, the redevelopment, so to speak, of that block of land that was a school, now it's a library, it's a community gathering place for recreation activities, and just to broaden the horizon to sculpture and art it's terrific. So anyway, beautification was over at the library the day before, putting in some perennials where they could. It was a stormy afternoon, but we were out there planting, and we intend to be out this month hanging corn stalks and decorating the borough for the autumn season. So if you're driving by, stop and help. That's my report.
Thank you.
I'm sorry,
So-
I should have thanked the beautification committee too.
No.
My apologies for.
No.
No, it was a nice addition to have the flowers there.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Since our last meeting, the borough, we did have our 20th anniversary 9/11 ceremony. I need to thank the New Milford Police and the New Milford Fire Department for all that they did to be there. I think it was a very good event. It was very moving. And I need to thank Chief Clancy for getting us the bagpiper for that day. So thank you to that. A lot has been going on, and I need to thank, I can't mention everyone's name, but a couple people I need to thank for everything the community's been doing for our volunteering for the people, our victims of the flooding. As everyone knows, there was a free market held at the Elks Club. The Elks donated the building, and this thing was spearheaded by Danielle Laporto, Emily Totaro, Maria Demler, amongst others. We will properly recognize all of these people, in the near future, but I just needed to say how thankful we are as a governing body that we have such wonderful residents who could help us help residents in need.
Absolutely.
I need to thank the DPW for all the cleanup. We are phasing down our cleanup. It's going very well. As you can see, there are less dumpsters in town. For a while, we were up to like over 300 tons of garbage out of this town. And it was amazing. As the dumpsters were getting lighter and lighter, we've been moving them to other streets. We've been condensing them. So we are still in cleanup, but we are towards the end of it, which we are very happy about. We also, a few members of this council and myself, we have delivered over 60 of the American Red Cross and Salvation cleaning kits to residents in need. We went actually to their addresses. Anyone who did not pick it up, we actually went and delivered them. Anyone who did not get one and you did receive water in your house, they are available at the DPW. They are free. All you need to do is go to the DPW, give them your name and your street, and you will get a free cleaning kit, compliments of the Red Cross and or the Salvation Army. The kits are basically the same, just different names on them. This Thursday, in a private ceremony, I'll be swearing in the police officers, the promotions that we approved at our last meeting. So Lieutenant Nicholas DeGenio will be promoted to the rank of captain. Detective Sergeant Nelson Perez will be promoted to the rank of lieutenant. Detective Derek Matisich will be promoted to the rank of sergeant. The ceremony will be at the Borough Hall. It'll be with the officers and their families. And then when one is done, the next family comes in. So that's always a nice thing. In the future, we'll be able to do it at council meetings when we're in person again in the future, but it's very nice to do those in person. I think that's all I have for now. Is there anything else that I missed or someone else wants to bring up? Okay.
Nice.
Well, then at this,
Mayor,
yes.
I'd like to add something to what Councilman Seymour was talking about with the cereal challenge. These kids in these schools, each school got about 750 boxes of cereal. They then lined it up in a domino effect, whether it was inside the hallways of the school or outside. And you had to see how excited they were. And it went off beautifully. It was a total, complete domino effect. So kudos to those teachers and the kids at the school. Did a fantastic job. There were about 750 boxes, I think, in each school, for 800 boxes of cereal collected in each school. So it was a challenge and they stepped up. Thank you for that, guys.
Amazing.
Just wanted to let you know about it.
Yeah,
Did a great
cool.
job.
That's cool. I was joking with the commissioners there. We were talking about cereals, and I said, well, if you have any leftover boxes of Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries,
Right.
just send them my way. And speaking of the schools, it reminded me, the high school also had a 20th anniversary 9/11 ceremony. They had that on the Friday. They had it on the 10th. It was powerful as well. And what's strange about it is, we're talking to the student body, and everyone we're talking to was not alive when it happened. So it's kind of like teaching them and seeing the effects. And then every student had an American flag and planted it in the lawn of the school. So it was very nice. It was very nice and touching. But at this time, I would ask for a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the public, we are open. All we ask is that you give us your name and your address, and you'll have 5 minutes to discuss any topic related to the Borough of New Milford.
If you're interested in speaking, you just need to raise your hand.
Raise your hand or type in the chat box.
There's, at this time, Mayor, I don't see any member of the public that wishes to speak.
Then at this time, I'd ask for a motion to close to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Council President Grant, I did have one question. Do you know how the book sale went at the library?
It went very well. I was there for a while and it was crowded. Lots of people there. It was lovely having it outdoors. It was a big hit.
I stopped at a few garage sales and people were talking about the book sale. Like, go to the library, you could buy books. So I heard a lot of
you know,
chatter about it. So
You fill an entire big bag for $5. I mean,
Mhm.
it's an incredible deal. Yeah, it was great.
excellent.
I'm wondering if they'll continue to do it outside under a tent again. It was lovely being outdoors, not crowded in the room.
Excellent. Okay, could I get a motion on resolutions 2021:219 through 2021:223?
Make that
So
motion.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Is there any other business before this council? If not, I would ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned.
Good night.
No, all in
Have a good
favor?
week, everybody.
All in favor?
All in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
all.
Aye.
Good night,
Yes.
everybody.
Night,
Good night.
New Milford.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh,